Have you ever realized that some women don't come out and flirt directly? Instead, they quietly test your level of awareness, especially when you're a man past 50. Their behavior shifts around you. They don't want to look desperate. They don't want to seem overly available, so they pose particular questions. And here's what most guys fail to grasp. A woman who feels pulled toward an older man will almost always ask two highly specific questions. It's like a secret signal hidden in everyday talk. Before I tell you what they are, do me a quick favor. Hit the like button and write a comment if you've ever realized too late that you missed a woman's hint. Your interaction helps this video reach more men who need this insight. Men over 50 frequently believe they've become invisible to younger women or even those their own age. But the reality is entirely different. Mature men are often more appealing than ever when they truly understand how women behave. The real issue isn't women. It's misinterpretation. It's moving through life assuming she's just being friendly when she was actually extending an invitation. Women seldom display interest overtly. They test your emotional steadiness, your attentiveness, and your ability to catch subtle details. Female psychology operates through nuance. And when a woman starts to see you as someone she could trust emotionally, physically, and intimately, her demeanor changes from casual talk to deliberate curiosity. She begins posing questions meant to reveal three things: your core strength as a man, whether you are more grounded and secure, your emotional and practical availability, and your perceptiveness, whether you can identify genuine interest. This is precisely when the two key questions emerge. But to grasp why they carry so much weight, you need to understand the psychological truth behind them. Many men over 50 expect obvious, straightforward signs because they grew up in an era when people communicated more directly. But women today, even mature ones, express attraction differently. They don't say, "I'm drawn to you. I want to get closer. I'm thinking about you romantically." Instead, they investigate. Women often use carefully chosen questions to determine whether you are a man they can approach without fear of rejection. Because here's a quiet feminine fear, especially with older men. If she shows her interest too plainly, she worries he'll think she's desperate. So, she conceals her attraction inside curiosity. She embeds it in questions that appear harmless to a man who isn't paying attention. And if you don't notice them, she usually won't extend the same invitation again. Women rarely offer the same emotional opening twice. Female psychology is complex. Women use questions the way men use actions. When a man is attracted to someone, he offers help, guidance, support, or protection. When a woman is attracted to someone, she asks a question that hints at closeness. There are countless questions a woman might ask in daily conversation, but only two appear consistently when she is gently exploring intimacy with a mature man. I'll share them soon. But first, recognize something crucial. She isn't asking because she wants to dig into your private life. She asks because she wants to sense your emotional warmth. She wants to feel, is he calm? Is he steady? Is he receptive to my energy? Does he embody his masculine side or hide behind politeness? These questions aren't about gathering facts. They're about building connection. They create a small bridge between you and her. Think of them as emotional pathways she lays down carefully to see whether you step onto them with awareness. And when you do, everything changes in her mind and her body. Most men answer these questions at surface level, but a wiser, more centered man understands the deeper meaning behind her words, because when she asks them, she isn't collecting data. She's checking for alignment. She's testing your awareness. She's seeing if you're the kind of man who notices things beneath the surface. When a woman is attracted to you, she doesn't need you to flaunt money, strength, or past stories. She needs to feel that you are conscious, present, and composed. These two questions matter because they aren't random curiosity. They are invitations. The first question a woman asks a man she desires is meant to uncover one thing: your availability, not your schedule, but your heart. She wants to sense whether your life has emotional room for her. It's not a practical inquiry. It's a psychological one. It's her way of saying, are you open or closed? Can you connect, or are you hiding in your routines? Can I come closer without feeling pushed back? Women don't like wasting emotional effort, so they test for openness before revealing deeper interest. This first question is her version of a man leaning in slightly to see if the woman leans in or steps away. But most men miss this entirely because they assume she's just making conversation. The second question she asks when she wants intimacy is about your direction, not your job or your ambitions, but your inner direction. She wants to know if your life has purpose, momentum, and masculine steadiness. Women do not open up to men who drift. They open up to men who are anchored, men who know who they are and where they stand. This question tells her, is this man emotionally alive? Does he carry himself with stability? Can I feel safe around his presence? Does he have boundaries, or is he floating through life? The second question isn't about specifics. It's about your essence. When she asks it, she is imagining what being close to you would feel like. A woman might feel drawn to a man's physique, but she only moves toward him when she desires his presence. And this question becomes her doorway into sensing the man you truly are. These questions matter deeply for men over 50. By the time a man reaches his 50s or 60s, many women assume something about him. They believe he has already lived most of his emotional stories, so they hesitate to step into his life unless they feel certain they won't become just a secondary character. These two questions, soft, simple, nearly invisible, are her way of checking whether there is space for her and whether the man she wants is living with intention or just passing through time. You can overlook compliments. You can miss body language. But if you miss these two questions, you miss the moment a woman is trying to open a door. And once a door closes, most women do not open it again. When a woman wants intimacy with an older man, not just friendly conversation, but real emotional and physical closeness, she tests the connection with two specific questions. These questions repeat across cultures, ages, and backgrounds because they come straight from feminine psychology. Here they are. The first question: do you spend a lot of time alone? It sounds harmless, but it's not. It is her way of asking, is there room? This is the first thing a woman always tests for: space in his world. Is he open or shut down? Does he have room for closeness, or is he trapped in his routines? Women ask it in different forms, like, do you usually go out by yourself? Do you keep to yourself? If you seem like a man who enjoys solitude, is that true? Are you seeing anyone or just doing your own thing lately? This question is never about loneliness. It's about access. A woman asks it only when she has already pictured herself in your space, somewhere near your life. She's trying to learn whether you are welcoming or emotionally unavailable. If she felt nothing for you, she wouldn't care how you spend your time. But when she feels drawn to the stability and calm that many mature men carry, she wants to know if she can enter your world without forcing her presence. Most men reply literally, yes, I'm alone a lot. No, not really. It depends. But a steady man hears the meaning behind it. She is checking your openness. She is testing your availability. She is seeing whether closeness with you is truly possible. To answer in a way that builds attraction, stay balanced, calm, steady, and open, but never needy. Say something like, I enjoy my space, but I'm always open to good company. Or, I like my routines, but I'm open to someone who adds something meaningful. This does two things at once. It tells her you are emotionally open without being desperate, and it gently hints that she might be someone you could let into your life. This tone is exactly what women want: open but not empty, receptive but not needy, and strong without being cold. When you respond this way, she feels warmth, possibility, and emotional safety. And that naturally leads her to the second question, the one that reveals her deeper interest. The second question is, what are you looking for these days? This question is never casual. It is not small talk. It is not simple curiosity. It is a woman exploring you as a romantic option. If she felt nothing for you, she would never risk asking something so direct. It feels too personal, too exposed, too intimate. Women save this question for men they see as potentially meaningful in their lives. And again, she may phrase it differently. What do you want in your life right now? What direction are you moving in? What are you focusing on lately? What do you want at this stage of life? What are you hoping to find these days? Women ask this second question to understand your inner direction. For a woman to open herself emotionally or physically to a man, especially a mature man, she needs to feel something important. She needs to sense that he knows who he is. He knows what he wants. He's not wandering through life. He's not stuck in old emotional stories. He's not just killing time. He moves with intention. This question helps her see, is this man's life headed somewhere I could walk toward? Does he have emotional purpose, physical purpose, and relational purpose? Is he the type of man I could trust with my vulnerability? Men who answer too literally don't realize they are breaking the moment. When a man says, "I'm just looking for peace," or "I'm taking each day as it comes," or "I'm not sure right now," she hears something else. She hears drifting. And women do not invest themselves in men who drift, no matter the age. If you want to answer with masculine clarity, you don't need a long explanation. You don't need to reveal your whole life. You only need direction. You can say something like, "I'm building a simpler, stronger chapter with the right people." Or, "I'm looking for connection that feels natural, not forced." Or, "I'm focusing on living with intention, experiences, and meaningful moments." These kinds of responses do three things for her. They show you are moving forward, not stuck. They show emotional clarity, that you know what you want. And they open a quiet space where she can imagine herself fitting into your direction. This is powerful for a woman. It gives her a signal she hopes for, proof that you are not emotionally asleep. Because here's something most men over 50 never fully realize. Women want a man who is alive inside, not just physically present, but emotionally awake. These two questions are deeply connected to female desire. And here is why women don't test men randomly. They test based on emotional readiness. When she asks, "Do you spend a lot of time alone?" she's measuring your openness. When she asks, "What are you looking for these days?" she's measuring your direction. And the logic is simple. A man who is open and moving with purpose creates emotional pull. He becomes someone worth leaning into. Women don't need perfection. They need clarity. Clarity gives safety, and safety awakens desire. This is why these two questions appear again and again, even if the woman doesn't consciously understand why she's asking them. Picture this in a real-life moment. You're talking with a woman, maybe in a cafe, a bookstore, at a friend's place, or even online. The conversation feels smooth. There's ease, almost a soft tension. She laughs a little more than needed. She touches her hair. She looks at you with warmth. Then suddenly she asks, "So, do you spend a lot of time alone?" This is her first emotional step toward you. It's her opening the door slightly. If you respond with presence, she feels encouraged. If you answer with confusion or shut it down, the energy drops instantly. Later, minutes or days later, she asks, "What are you looking for at this stage of your life?" This is her second step. This is her deciding if she should go deeper. If you answer with clarity, she feels possibility. If you answer with uncertainty, she retreats. Don't think these moments are random. They are emotional checkpoints. And women almost never ask these two questions to a man they don't feel something for. Here is what you must never forget. A woman who wants intimacy will not say it openly. She will not confess it. She will not push herself on you. She will ask two questions. Are you open emotionally? Do you spend a lot of time alone? And are you emotionally alive? What are you looking for these days? These questions are not about your plans. They are about your energy. When you notice them, you enter the moment with presence. When you fail to notice them, the moment disappears. Women rarely offer the same emotional invitation twice. When they open a door, it is only once. If you remember just one thing, let it be this: a woman does not test your words. She tests your presence and awareness. If you can recognize the questions she uses to signal desire, you will never again wonder whether a woman is interested in you. Before you go, help this channel grow. Comment the phrase, "I see the signs below," to show you understood the message and are ready to use it. Your engagement helps this message reach more men who need it. Women communicate attraction in ways that are subtle, emotional, and often invisible to men who expect direct signals. What makes this especially important for mature men is that women see older men differently than they see younger ones. They expect more depth, more presence, and more clarity. A younger man can be confused, uncertain, or inconsistent and still be seen as figuring out his life. But a man over 50 is judged by a different standard. Women assume he has lived through enough experiences to know who he is and what he wants. That is why their interest shows up through emotional signals rather than obvious gestures. When a woman asks questions that touch your openness or your direction, she's not just trying to get information. She's trying to feel your emotional landscape. She wants to know if approaching you will be met with a man who is present, intentional, and aware. Christmas isn't about what you have or give. It's about how deeply you see her, how fully you engage, and how intentionally you make her feel cherished. Christmas is not just about gifts, lights, or tradition. It is about presence, connection, and the subtle ways we make someone feel seen, valued, and loved. For a woman, the holidays can stir emotions more intensely than any other time of the year. It is a time when memories, expectations, and desires mingle, creating an emotional landscape that can be both beautiful and vulnerable. If you want to truly touch her heart this Christmas, it is not about spending lavishly or performing grand gestures. It is about 3 essential things that communicate understanding, care, and emotional intimacy. The first thing you must do is listen deeply. Not just hearing the words she says, but feeling the emotions behind them. This time of year often brings reflection on the year gone by, on hopes, on losses, and on joys. When you listen without judgment or distraction, when you tune into her tone, her pauses, and the unspoken undercurrents of her words, you create a sacred space for connection. Deep listening is not passive. It is active presence. It signals that her inner life matters to you more than the superficial trappings of the season. You can notice when a man is genuinely attentive because it reflects emotional investment.